Some breaking news to report at this hour. We have just learned that the mayor of Newark, New Jersey is under arrest. Here's a picture of him. He's been protesting, I guess, all week outside an ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. There he is, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ray Baraka. He was arrested for trespassing on ICE facilities, federal grounds here, after having been warned multiple times not to do this. He was at a protest event where he crossed the line. Watch some of the video just coming in. He's being arrested there.
Hold it! Back up! Back up! Over there! What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're looking at authorities trying to hold them back.
Goddamn Gestapo, that's what you are. New Jersey's Gestapo, right here.
Democrats have been protesting this week outside the ICE detention facility.
Thank you.
Because they do not believe that we should be holding anybody in a detention facility that may be here illegally. And so by protesting that and by continuing to stay there and then torpedoing the actual fences, they were then in violation of what the federal authorities had told them to do. So Alina Habba, you know, she's the federal attorney, interim anyway, there in the state of New Jersey on behalf of the Trump administration. She announced both on Twitter and then while speaking with news media that she was placing Ray Baraka under arrest for this protest outside the ICE detention facility after he had trespassed and violated effectively what authorities had insisted he do. He was warned multiple times. Let's listen to Alina.
Well, I can confirm, as I have publicly stated, that we have the mayor, Ray Baraka, under arrest. You know, it's very simple, Martha. As I said, in the state of New Jersey, as Pam Bondi has said, in the United States, we will not stand for anybody getting in the way of getting rid of criminals in this country. It's very simple. Unfortunately, the mayor has publicly for 3 days been saying that he's going to break in, eventually did break in, was given multiple opportunities to remove himself, failed to do so, and has been detained and will be charged.
And where is he being held?
I'm not going to speak to that right now. He's obviously in New Jersey.
But he's in custody.
Yes, he has been arrested and will be charged.
So the report of these individuals, and we have a live, this might be from earlier, this particular video. This is from earlier. Okay, we're going to go back to the live shot in a moment. But these two members of Congress, can you explain the description of breaking into this facility, exactly what they did?
I'm not going to speak to things that are currently obviously under investigation. I think that if you look at their Twitter, they were very public about it. Look, here's what I'll say, Martha, very generally. There is a problem in this country with breaking the law for the purpose of grandstanding and political hierarchy. That will not stand in my state. That will not stand in this country. Pam Bondi has been very clear of it. If you want to take taxpayer dollars and fly to Venezuela or wherever and meet with MS-13 gang members and use your name to encourage criminals in this country, that will not work here. It's very simple. My job as U.S. Attorney in New Jersey is to protect the New Jersey citizens, to prosecute them, and to run the feds. And that is what we're doing. And when the mayor decides to break the law, when congressmen sneak through gates, you know, there's a problem with that. The truth of the matter is this. We have zero tolerance. As one of my very favorite attorney generals said, no one is above the law. And that is the truth. No one is above the law. But I will tell you one difference between this current administration and the DOJ is we're going to prosecute criminals that are hurting our country, hurting our states. I am very much on board with that in a very much unpolitical way. I don't care who you are. If you do it, we will come after you. And it is very simple. The mayor was asked to be removed. He was asked several times. He chose not to. And now we are in the current circumstance, which is unfortunate.
So again, this is setting up this sort of challenge, if you would, between state and federal law. The feds have full jurisdiction over issues like immigration. You can go back to the Constitution. If there's one power, I've said this before, if there's one power the federal government has, it is the power over who is here in this country, and they control who is here. And so ICE actually does have power. You cannot sit there and protest ICE or try and stampede your way across that fence. This is what is being alleged, that they tried to move across territory that they were told not to be in. So that is kind of like no go, right? And yet they're freaking out, saying, the Democrats are freaking out. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that the Trump administration arrested the Newark mayor? Can you believe he did that? Much like they say, oh my gosh, can you believe he arrested a judge? Remember the judge out in Wisconsin who thought it was perfectly fine, Judge Dugan, to have an immigrant who was being charged with domestic violence come to her, she brought him to her chambers and then escorted him out the back. I mean, this is actually like illegal stuff. It shouldn't be that hard. But here's one of these members of Congress. She was there alongside Representative Rob Menendez. Her name is LaMonica McIver. There was another one, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, as well, that went there to speak after Baraka was arrested. They're here at, you can see Delaney Hall. It's an ICE prison in Newark, New Jersey, and they're complaining that it had been opened without permission from the city and it was in violation of local ordinances. Here we go. This is Representative LaMonica McIver.
Eric, what have you learned?
It's not Monica.
How this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do. What we just witnessed was just disgusting. I am very upset. I am very angry, and I am very hurt that they could be able to do something like that to us. These are people who are supposed to be officers, who are supposed to protect us, and they have done none of that. If they can treat 3 members of Congress like that, just imagine how they can treat people on the street each and every day, both undocumented and people who are citizens here in this country. It makes absolutely no sense to arrest the mayor of the largest city of this state who did nothing wrong. He went.
It's almost as though that train is trying to fire back at her, right? He did nothing wrong. Well, if he's being asked to leave the federal property and he's not leaving, then isn't he trespassing? And therefore, wouldn't the feds have the jurisdiction to say, okay, well, we're going to place you under arrest because you won't get out? Just saying, right? If you want any kind of law and order, which apparently some people just don't want.
Side of the gate and told them that he was waiting for us to come out because we were conducting an oversight visit. They asked him to leave. He left out of the gate. Instead of the ICE officials that were here, who were supposed to be here to lead us on a tour, they then came out to have a huddle to talk about how the mayor was inside and that he should be arrested still because he was inside. They then came back out after the mayor was out here with you all, some of you out here. They then left us still. We're waiting for a visit to come back out here and arrest the mayor who had already left off of their property from behind the gate. What we see here is despicable, and we should all be angry. This is unacceptable.
Okay. You know what's unacceptable? The fact that we're having this insane political debate. And I just want to remind them all the Democrats out there, you guys were the ones that actually believed at one point in time that you could not have people immigrating here illegally. In fact, Barack Obama said this over and over again. He was the guy who was on record up until Donald Trump for having deported the most number of people. And now suddenly, because Donald Trump wants it, you're out there doing these little protests where you're trying to get arrested. I mean, clearly, if you're told multiple times, hey, please go away, please stop, please get off of federal property, and you don't go, guess what? You're going to be arrested. That's the way it goes. Make sure you subscribe, share, like. We got a lot of videos coming your way over the weekend. Much more on this to come.